children. But that is not the truth. Let's be clear. This is not a loophole in the industry. It's not a Wild West market. Consumable hemp has been legal from the start. It is in the original legislation, not a loophole. It's as plain as day. Consumable hemp products for human consumption are legal under regulation. Let's stop pretending that this is about public safety. This is about power. This is about control. And veterans are caught in the crossfire. All of this right here, pills, alcohol, they do more harm every day than this does. But these are legal. Where are the ingredients on these? They're not there. Let's talk about who's pushing this. Governor Patrick stood in front of cameras and fed the public fear and fiction. He says hemp is dangerous. He says we need to crack down. But what he's really saying is that veterans like me don't deserve relief unless it comes with a prescription pad and a pill bottle. That is shameful, that is reckless, and it is un-American. It is not leadership, it is not compassion, it's tyranny, plain and simple. But I don't believe all of Texas leadership is lost. Governor Abbott, I'm speaking directly to you here. You are a man of integrity and common sense. And in moments like this, that's exactly what Texans need. SB 3 is deeply flawed. It criminalizes veterans. It restricts access to the very tools that helped save my life and countless others. Veto Senate Bill 3. Show Texas that you are a leader who listens to veterans and Texans, not politicians with agenda and not big money. Show the people that integrity still exists in Austin. Veterans are not asking for a handout. We're asking for options. For the freedom we fought to protect. For common sense over politics. And most of all, we're asking that you not make us criminals. Veto Senate Bill 3. Do it for every veteran who just wants to live in peace. Do it for the Texan who wants to be present, not numb. Do it because it's right. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. So that concludes the prepared remarks by the speakers, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
For veterans in the room, on the House floor, there was veteran David Lowe on the Republican side. He argued that veterans shouldn't be used as, he said, a talking point in this argument. What would your response to him be?
My response to him would be that our national convention and our state convention of both of the VFW set the #1 priority of national and of our state as protecting any alternative to opioids. That's one veteran's opinion. I have written consent that I speak for 64,000 veterans in Texas, not just one.
Has there been any communication with the governor's office? Have you heard any inclination of the place?
We have not, but I want to compliment Robert Howard and his team. They met with us last week. We did ask for a meeting with Governor Abbott. We have not heard back from them.
Yeah, and so at the conclusion of this, when we're done with the Q&A portion, you're welcome to come with us down to the first floor of the governor's office, where we'll be hand delivering these petitions to some of the governor's team.
So I had a question. Folks in lawmakers in Texas yesterday also expanded the compassionate use program, and they pointed to that as an alternative for folks if these THC products, the ban is signed into law. Can you respond to that? Is that enough to meet the needs of folks?
Go ahead.
So let me respond just from the veteran standpoint, if you will. Let me find my little baggie here. This right here is 5 times less than what teacup is in its current state. For a veteran that lives on disability, I explored teacup. I did my own research. $500 a month is what it cost me versus $90 in gummies. A veteran that lives on VA disability and makes a couple grand a month and that's all the income they have, how can they afford it? So yes, it's out there, but it's not easily accessible. It's not easily affordable or any of those options either.
We supported that, we supported that bill, we supported the expansion of it, that's one alternative modality as well. But let me piggyback, and let me answer the question this way, and fill you in on the sausage making the last 2 weeks. They didn't really want to do that. So 2 weeks ago, on Memorial Day weekend, in the Senate State Affairs Committee with House Bill 46, they stripped out everything that was in the original House Bill 46. Over the Memorial Day weekend, a sacred weekend for us in our community. And we didn't know until literally yesterday what that was going to look like. So we commend the members of the conferees, the committee, particularly the House of Representatives. And I will tell you this, I want to thank Speaker Verse and the House of Representatives, because when we do our scorecard at the end of the session on which chamber supports veterans more, it's this side of the Capitol. Because there is a lot of good legislation that's gotten through the last 2 sessions in the House that the Senate didn't take up. But again, we support that, but it's going to take time to implement those changes. There's language in there about you got to have certain licensees by a certain date, and they have 2 years to sell the product. It's going to take a while to ramp this up. So in the meantime, you're going to take away potentially something from us that works right now that will be illegal on September 1st.
You mentioned the original text of the bill that was authored by Senator Perry and pushed forward by Dan Patrick. You go back to the original clip when they passed it in 2019, both seemed very complimentary when they passed it and seemed to know what they were getting into. What do you think changed their tune?
Who wants to take that one? Let the industry take that one.
Yeah, so I would have to say that other entrenched interests, perhaps adult consumables of other varieties, took note of the rapid growth of our industry and looked at it cynically and didn't want us to participate in providing relief and giving people wellness alternatives.
I guess kind of piggybacking on my earlier question too, with that teacup expansion, they pointed to, you mentioned the cost of this product is at $500 versus $90. Supporters, some folks in their arguments have said, okay, by allowing for overnight storage and by creating more licenses, that will create competition and drive the prices down for these products. Does anyone have a response to that argument?
Sure. And again, the VFW supports teacup as well. But let me just say, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. To Mitch's point, every day that a veteran has to stay on opioids is one day closer to pushing them to the brink. I was so scared over Memorial Day weekend because of the verbiage in there about going on to opioids. You heard my story. Were they going to force me back onto opioids was my question, right? I wasn't going to do it, so what was that going to leave me? So yes, to your point, teacup expansion, we support it, but it's going to take too long.
We're going to hold them to it too.
Hi, I just wanted to address a couple of things that were brought up just now. Mitch referenced the shenanigans that happened the past couple of weeks that got HB 46 passed. But let's talk about what happened during SB 3. SB 3 was used as a cudgel for people. So the lieutenant governor held funding for children. They held funding for children hostage, they held veterans hostage, and beat legislators over the head until they passed SB 3. That is not good policy. That is straight up politics and power. The teacup program can be what it is, but I will tell you, for those of you who don't know, Texas has a very limited medical marijuana program. And even with this expansion, you have right now one company that has 70% of the market that employs 20 or 30 people versus 53,000 people that will be put out of business. This is an example of the government picking winners and losers in business. This is an example of a state-sponsored monopoly, because that is what it is. The state decides who can compete in the teacup program and who cannot. Hemp is a direct competitor. It is a federally legal product that competes with federally illegal marijuana in this state. And that seems to be getting passed over. So Senator Perry, Charles Perry, Lieutenant Governor, are pushing